Stephanie with the Rancher's Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight is my Azure Standard drop, and I usually every month, I try to every month, and I'm not always that successful at it, try and show you my Azure haul, because I know that is always a hot topic. Everyone wants to know how I grocery shop for a month at a time and what things I get on Azure Standard. So today I will show you my Azure haul, but before we do that, I thought it would be beneficial if I shared my pros and my cons on why I use Azure Standard. So I've used it now for 4 years-ish, maybe 5. And this is a big way of how I grocery shop for 1 month at a time. So I try and keep it between Azure Standard and Costco. So I try and do both of those within a few days of each other. And then my grocery shopping for the month is done. And I may have to go back for a few ingredients, a few things here and there, but for the most part, between those two places, I can get all the food we need in bulk for the entire month. So the first thing we'll talk about is, let's go ahead and just get the cons right out of the way. All the things I don't like, which there's not very many, but there are a few things that I would do differently if it were my company or if I were in charge. And of course, in every aspect, there's always going to be that. And so, spoiler alert, I love Azure Standard. And if I didn't, I wouldn't keep using them. So for the most part, there isn't anything wrong. But there are a few things that I don't like about them. And if you're new and don't know if you want to jump on this train or not, they may be helpful to know. The first thing is I have used them since California, and now I've used them here in Missouri. When I was in California, I did not pay shipping on my orders. And out here in Missouri, I do. So I'm not exactly sure where the cutoff is, but I know the western side of the United States, closer to Oregon, since that's where it's based out of, do not pay shipping. I never did, unless that has changed. I could be wrong. It's been 3 years since I've ordered in California. However, then I did not. Shipping can get kind of expensive getting them out here. So I usually pay roughly $50 in shipping, and anywhere from $30 to $50. And that's quite a big amount of money to spend. Now, there are things that I get on Azure Standard that I can't find anywhere else for the price. So the shipping is worth it for me. All of my gluten-free flours, besides my all-purpose flour, because I make that blend myself based off of all of the other flours that I get on Azure Standard. I get them all on there. And I can't find those at Costco. I can't find them at Sam's Club. I can't find them anywhere else. I could buy them in bulk on Amazon, but I do find that Azure Standard has the best quality and the best price. So my first con, I would say there's only three cons in all. My first one is that I have to pay shipping. Okay, number 2, a con, which kind of goes along with the same thing, is one thing that is really kind of challenging for me out here is that the drop time is always different. So in California, it was, I don't remember if it was the second or third, but it was a Tuesday, the same Tuesday, every single month at 7:45 in the morning. I mean, hands down, never changed. A lot of times the truck was just a little bit early even, but it was the same every single month. And so I could build my schedule around that. So I always knew that I was going to pick up an Azure drop as long as I placed an order on Tuesday, like the third Tuesday of every single month at 7:45. So that is something that is different out here. The drop time always changes. It just depends because it travels a lot farther. So when you come out farther east or in the central part of the United States, your drop is going to be different and it's going to change depending on the truck. So it leaves Oregon. It usually tells us when your order has shipped. And then it just depends on their stops along the way, any kind of hiccups. There's a lot of times there's delays, especially as we enter into more weather type or bad weather season. Things get different. And so that is one con that I don't like, is that it can be so different. Like tonight, I teach at church at 6:30. My Azure drop is tonight at 6 o'clock. So that really stinks. I had to text and say, hey, I'm going to be late. Hopefully the truck will be on time or a little bit early. Lately, our truck has been early, which is nice. But I need to get it home, get the frozen and refrigerated stuff put away, and then I'll be there. So luckily I live pretty close to church, and it's not going to be that big of a deal. but it is nice when it is a set time. So the fact that it's not is a con for me. Okay, and my third and final con, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is, and I've kind of just gotten used to embrace it, is that even if you put something in your cart early in the month, doesn't necessarily mean that it will ship. So if it is placed into your cart and it is in stock when you place it into your cart, by the time your order ships, it could be out of stock by then and you won't get it. And that is really frustrating. So this month, I already know we love their raw cheddar. I buy it every single month in large boxes. Blocks, if you watch back in previous monthly videos, you'll see that I always have it on my order. It's our favorite cheese and we use that all month long. So I buy 2 ginormous blocks of it and that's what we use as our cheese for every recipe, every time we need cheese throughout the month. This month, I put it in my order early, but it did not ship. It was out of stock. And so that is really frustrating. They do give you an email right before it ships. Once your order is placed, the cutoff time is off. They will give you an email that tell you when something is unlikely to ship in case you want to change anything in your order. But it's still unfortunate that even though you place it earlier in the month, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get it. And I don't exactly know why. I've heard people say that they basically fill orders, not necessarily in the order received, but as they're filling orders, they're just filling it, and once it's out of stock, it's out of stock. So you just kind of get the luck of the draw. Because I have literally put the same things in my cart as a friend who's at the same drop, and she got hers and I didn't get mine. And so our names aren't on the, you know what I mean? My last name comes before her last name, so it didn't make sense of any rhyme or reason other than the fact that as they were filling orders, my luck of the draw was that it was out of stock by the time they got to me. So that kind of stinks. I don't like that. That is a con. I typically I get something on my list that is out of stock every time. Not always. Like last month, I got everything I asked for, but it does happen, and so that is something to be aware of as a con. That's it. Those are my cons. Those are the things that I don't like about it. The things that I do love about it. The list could go on and on. I love Azure Standard. I love that it's good quality food. I love that it's good quality ingredients. I love that I can get in bulk, that I can get smaller sizes so I can adjust. So, say for instance, rice, I want that in a 25-pound bag, but say sugar, I don't want in a 25-pound bag. I can get a 5-pound bag of that, or a 10-pound, or a 25-pound bag. So, they have all different varieties of sizes for almost every ingredient. You can buy things that even come in smaller packages. Like I get the Lundberg thin stacks not every month because I get a big box of them, but they come obviously in small boxes. You can get a 3-pack of those small boxes, or you can get a 12-pack of those small boxes. So it's totally up to you. And I love that you have that variety in flexibility in the sizes. So if you're not someone like me who typically buys as much as you can in bulk, you can still benefit from using Azure Standard because you can get the smaller sizes if you want to. I love that there is a wide, it's not just food. You can get healthcare products, you can get beauty products, you can get household products, all that are good, clean ingredients that I trust and I love. And you can get all of that right there on their site. So it's very, very convenient. The other thing, probably the biggest thing and what got me started, is it's so convenient. You go to the truck, wherever your drop location is, and you pick up all of your items that have been repackaged into larger boxes. They're manageable boxes that you can lift up, don't worry. But you aren't taking one bag of this and one bag of that and one off of the truck. They're prepackaged. Like a lot of times I'll have a full $500 order on Azure Standard, and I might only have 5 boxes of that are on the truck that I grab because they're packed so strategically and so nice. I've never had a problem with something being bad. I have heard that there are people that have, but their customer service is really great about returning it or giving you your money back. So, but I've never had a problem. I buy produce on there. Since I started going to Costco, I don't necessarily buy produce anymore, but I used to buy produce all the time. And this is another thing that I really love about it is if you put a produce into your cart that is needs to be eaten right away, like it's a really fresh produce. So for instance, I've tried multiple times to put spinach or asparagus into my cart, and it'll flag me. You can still do it, but it'll give a big, huge warning at the top saying it's unlikely to stay fresh when it's shipped. Now, if it says that, I don't know if they will refund your money if you go ahead and try and buy it anyways, because they did fair warn you. So I've never tried. When it comes up that says that, I don't buy it. I buy it at my local grocery store, or I try and grow it. But I love that you can buy fresh produce and it's always fresh. You can buy fresh produce in bulk. So I know plenty of people who buy their apples every year off of Azure Standard, big, huge boxes of potatoes, all of those things. So you can do so many things and even preserve those things for later if you find a good deal on there. They will run things on sale, and I love that. I love that there's sales because just like everywhere else, we're always looking for sales. And so they do run sales on there too. You can watch them and find some good deals on some fresh produce as well. During the springtime, you can get some starts too. So for the garden, I've bought strawberries and blueberries on there before, and you can totally buy those as well. I know people have bought basil and different spices and things like that, plants that you can plant into your garden. That is just so cool that you can also get those. Everything comes in a refrigerated truck. So everything will be refrigerated and stay cold. And then they also have a freezer section of the truck, so you can buy frozen stuff as well. So those are all the reasons why I love it, and those are the very few reasons that maybe you want to be aware of if you're just getting started. You may already be doing this and see this video and be like, well, yeah, I've had the same cons as well. It's not enough. Those cons are not enough for me to not use Azure Standard, but they are something that you may want to be aware of before you get started. So tonight I'm going to go pick up my order, but I think I will show you what's on my order tomorrow sometime since we will be running off to church. I'll see you back here once I get my order. Okay, it is the next day. I ran off to church once I got my frozen things into the freezer, and now I'm ready it's the next day, and I will show you what I got. This order is actually a smaller order than what I usually get, mostly because the cheese was out of stock, and I just really didn't need a ton of my bulk things. So I did need some white rice, and so I did get that, and but I didn't need a ton of it, and so I just knew I was getting kind of low. So I just went ahead and did a 5-pound bag of that. I have 2 5-pound bags here of cornstarch. I use this in my all-purpose gluten-free flour mix. I share that recipe in my digital cookbook, which I can link in the description. So I was getting short of that. So I actually ended up not timing that correctly, and I had to buy a couple little containers of cornstarch from just Walmart. And I don't like to do that because that definitely does not save you money. And so I'm glad that I got that back in. So I have 2 bags of that, which is an equal of 10 pounds. I always buy my mini chocolate chips on Azure Standard. They're so delicious, and we go through a lot of chocolate chips. We like chocolate in my family. So this is a 5-pound bag of mini chocolate chips. I usually get the regular size chocolate chips. I get that at Costco. You can also get those on Azure Standard too, and I have in the past before, but it's a better price point at Costco, so I always get it there. I only got one of these because I'm going to try it out, but these are freeze-dried apples. My kids like freeze-dried apples. They have a brand, or the Walmart brand, comes in little snack bags, or you can get them in a bag like this. The kids really like, and they're different than apple chips. They're kind of, because they're freeze-dried, so they're not dehydrated. They taste a little bit different. All it is just apples, which is what I'm looking for in the ingredients, nothing else added to it. And so they had these on Azure Standard. So I just got one little bag because I want to try it first, see if they like it just as much as the other one. And then I'll go ahead and buy these in bulk, which means they won't have a bigger bag of this. They'll just do like a package deal. So you might get 6 of these bags in a package for a set amount. So we're going to give them a try and see if we like them. If we do, we will go ahead and order some more of them. I was out of my cassava orzo, which is what I use in my rice-a-roni recipe. I'll link that. But I actually, in the recipe, it says I use gluten-free spaghetti noodles, which I do. So I either use gluten-free spaghetti noodles, or I found these orzos, and they are perfect because they're gluten-free and I don't have to crunch up gluten-free spaghetti. So I do like that. I haven't had any in a while, so I got a big old box of them. There's 12 in here, little boxes. They're 8-ounce boxes, but there are 12 of them in there. And then the last things I got on my order was some frozen items. So I got some frozen blueberries, and I got frozen corn. So we were out of both of those. And I usually buy all of my frozen fruits on Azure Standard. So strawberries, peaches, whatever we need for our smoothies, I always get on Azure Standard. I hope that this video was helpful, gave you a little bit of ideas of what I like and don't like about Azure Standard, and then also kind of some more things to get on my orders, or if you're new to ordering, what kind of items they have there. I hope this gave you some ideas. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. I send out one new video every single week, usually on Mondays. And jump on over to the blog. The link is in the description, and join our email community over there. I send out one email over there a week with recipes, ranch life. I usually send this video or my YouTube video in the link there too. But join our community over there. I hope this video was helpful, and we'll see you next time. Take care.